Hello, hello, and welcome to my live. How are you? Welcome to my live. Please say hi if you're joining live or if you are watching the replay. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jessica Lozano, and I am a sovereignty priestess, helping women to rise from codependent and toxic relationships so they can reclaim the truth of who they really are. I love saying that every single time. And really, what I am working with women is working on their sovereign divinity and really reconnecting with their higher self. More than anything. More than what it is about why you get involved in all the psychological stuff that happens with like trauma bonding and all of that stuff. What I know that will get any woman to rise is really reconnecting with their highest self. Because that is your truest form. That is where your power lies. When you connect with your higher self, you are reclaiming all aspects of you. Like all of them. Every single one of them. And that is what we're here to talk about today on this live, the importance of connecting with your higher self. Because for me, this has always been where most of my power comes from and where I feel the most at home. I don't feel wobbly when I'm really feeling that secureness of that connection. And that is that secureness like here. Like for me, where I feel my higher self is right here in my heart. For you, you may feel it in your stomach, you may feel it in your solar like your solar plexus or your sacral, like your womb. I feel it here. And whenever I come home to this, because that's what it is, it's coming home to you, to your truest form, your purest essence, your invincible divinity lies here in that higher self area. And there's no greater power than that, because no one can take that away from you. People can do life can happen to you in all sorts of different ways. Like your money can be taken from you, your partner can go, life can happen, but you will always have that connection here. And as I wrote in the description, that this is where your power lies, this is where your safety lies, this is where your joy, your happiness, where your self-leadership lies, where your compassion, where your grace lies. Everything else is just a byproduct in your life. So connecting with this part of you is going to allow you to make the best decisions that are for you. So I want to read to you what I wrote down in my journaling, my channeling session with my own higher self, as I was going to come onto this live. And I was like, okay, all right, higher self, what do you have to share with me today about connecting with your higher self? And this is what she said. She said, connecting with your higher self is the highest or purest form of spiritual work. Your higher self is the most evolved version of you. She is an ascended master herself, or himself if you're a male, but I speak to women here. She guides you, which is you, to your highest potential each moment by moment. So why not listen to her? In a world of duality, in a world of tricksters, in a world where each person, good or bad, has their own agenda, their own projections, their own shadows, following your higher self allows you to take in your own advice and discern the rest. People will always try to give advice or guide you to what they think is the best based on their experience of life, based on their morals, values, and fears. But they are not you. So a communion, an active relationship with your higher self, your own master within, allows you to make decisions based on your evolutionary timeline, not theirs. You have a master inside of you. This is the person of highest authority in your life because she is you. Be dependent on you always. This requires trust within you. How beautiful is that? So what I want to speak on when it came to this and then this may be a little contradicting to some people depending on your background, but I'm just going to share with you my experience when it comes to how I was brought up with like Christianity, and how I felt that they always, the way it sounded like was that your power was not yours. Like it was not your power is not yours. That you could not connect fully. That's not either. That's not right. Give me a second here. Okay. That your power doesn't really rely inside of you, that your power relies in the God outside of you or in Jesus, right? That's how I was brought up. And that never really fully sank in with me. I always felt like I had to, like I was just not, it was just like a disconnect, you know? Like there was like a disconnect with, why isn't it that I can't listen to myself? Now, of course, there's a part of ourselves that we probably should listen to and take action, but we have a power within inside of us, our own wisdom, and we have been raised to not listen to that wisdom and to outsource it to someone else, to something else, to things, to a God, to a deity. And it never sat well with me when it was just like that Jesus is the Savior. I love Jesus. He is absolutely a part. I have an active relationship with him, but we are our own saviors. He comes in and shines and reflects back to us what we want to embody, because we see that deity, in this case Jesus, that ascended master, embody something that we want. So when you are reconnecting with your higher self, you are bringing the power back to you and not outsourcing it to somebody else. For example, I think this will kind of make it a little bit more clear and kind of get the message that I want to say out. This journal right here with the Akashic Records, okay? I outsourced my power to the Akashic Records and to these ascended masters that I have been more aware of and more connecting with, right? As if they had the answers and I did not have the answers. Like I could never figure it out on my own. Like I was like I'm powerless or something like that. But really, when you go into the Akashic Records, when you go to commune with another ascended master or like a deity, they are just guides. Just like you have mentors in here on physical earth, they are the same thing. So when you hire a mentor, when you call a friend, when you ask your spouse for advice, for guidance, for whatever, you shouldn't be outsourcing your whole power to them and as if they have the answers. You take, just like this message said here, you listen to your own advice and you discern the rest. You kind of take in what they say, what really resonates, what really hit here, and then you make the decision at the end of the day. It's the same thing with these deities and these ascended masters, because they want you to live based on your own terms and your life and what's on your evolutionary timeline, not just to like be a spitting image of them, if that makes sense. When I realized this, okay, I was going into the Akashic Records and something didn't feel right. I'm like, I could access them and things like that, but at one point, and of course I think the Akashic Records for this because they guided me there, they're like, you really need to connect with your higher self. And I was like, that is what's not, that's what's disconnecting here. I was outsourcing my own power to the struggles that I was having in my life to the records, because the records had all the answers and that's the only way that I could solve these problems, instead of listening to my own wisdom, my own inner wisdom and the master within me. Does that make sense? When I realized this, my world shifted, because I realized what I'm just telling you is that these are tools that we use, but they are not the Holy Grail. You are the Holy Grail, not those things. I mean, do you get that? You are your own holy grail. You are the one who has the answers within you. You don't need to outsource that to other people. You can ask for guidance, you can ask for mentorship, you can ask for these things. But at the end of the day, you have to know that you have the power within you to do whatever it is that you want to do, to heal whatever it is that you want to heal. So when it came to, as I was mentioning, like with like the ascended masters and things like that, you've heard the saying that what you see in someone else, like the greatness, the attributes that you love, the characteristic traits, the achievements, and all those things are things that you have within inside yourself as well, right? These ascended masters walked the earth. They were humans, and you see a greatness within that you want to embody yourself, and they are here to reflect that back to you. Every morning I call in on my ascent. I create a circle of empowerment. I call in the ascended masters of the Sophia Dragon tribe, and I thank them for reflecting back to me my own truth. Do you see how that brings the power back to you, and it doesn't just give it away to them as if you don't have any answers? There's a huge difference between saying they have all the answers, they will have all the answers I will ever have, versus I desire mentorship with this person, this ascended master, this goddess, this deity, to show me, to light the path, and so that I can walk the path and make those decisions on my own and reclaim the power within me. And I have the final say on what happens, because you do, because you always have the option of not listening. There's a huge difference. Huge, huge difference. I hope what I'm saying is really resonating, because sometimes it's hard to speak the words, to speak the feeling that I feel of connecting with your highest self, of knowing that, yes, I will hire this person, I can hire that person, but they're here to just pretty much shine the truth back to me and shine what I, in my soul, already knows. Because they have certain answers, and I would seek their mentorship, right, to help crack me open these areas. But I'm doing the work. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense, because I really want to make sure that this is translated into what I feel. So everything that they have, you have. Everything that they have, you have. Everything that they have, you have. If you just realize that one thing, I really believe that will open up so many doors for you. And right now my mind is going back to something here which says, back into, my leg's falling asleep. That she guides you, she which is in you. Okay, so remember, your higher self is also you. She is just the most evolved version of you, and she is coming here to guide you on that evolutionary timeline with each present moment, each moment by moment. So this relationship that you have with your higher self is also based on the ordinary decisions that you make. It's not just like the big things and that's the only time you call in. It's the very ordinary decisions that you make each moment by moment, to the moment that you decide to wake up or not, to what you decide, if you decide to have coffee or not, to journal, to whatever. And the way that you rebuild this relationship is just like any relationship, which is just start actively creating it, making space for it, asking for time, talking to your higher self. Like if you had a relationship with your mother and it was a strain, like you guys always were together in each other's lives for your whole life, right? Just like I mentioned before, like your higher self has always been there with you, but like let's use this example with your mom, that you kind of don't really have, like sometimes she gave you advice and it was really good and you listened and things happened, and sometimes she gives you still really good advice and you didn't really listen. You see each other here now, blah, 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 whatever. And then you realize, you know what, I really want to really have a relationship with my mother. So then you actively make time for her. So you set, let's have lunch, let's have dinner, let's create this memories together, let's go on a vacation, right? So it's the same thing with your higher self. You just have to create that time for it. Meditation, journaling, for me, journaling, I love the best. Asking questions to your higher self, and then waiting for the guidance to come through and making that communion. So it's really the devotion to yourself is what connecting with your higher self is. Being utterly devoted to you and to what this is telling you is what this is all about. Like you. Connecting with you. So what happens when you actively start this relationship, you really start to open up your own psychic and intuitive gifts. And I think this is so important because, and it's not to say that you will see things like some people see things, because maybe that is a part of what you desire to do, maybe not. But when you are connecting with your higher self and you're building this relationship, and it's like almost like you're cleaning yourself every single time, like you're purifying yourself, you're strengthening yourself, you're trusting yourself. You come to like your pure, you're returning to your pure essence. And your pure essence is already naturally with these intuitive gifts and with these psychic gifts. I, for example, didn't think I had intuitive gifts or anything like this. Right? I didn't grow up like other people who see things, who've heard things, whatever. It wasn't until I actively started this spiritual work and spiritually connecting with myself, with my highest self, that these gifts started to open up. So that just shows you right then and there. And if you've ever connected with your higher self, you probably know this. Like you start to feel more intuitive nudges. You start to get this gut reaction. You start to know something. Maybe you get a quick vision of something. Maybe you hear a thought that comes in. You're like, whoa, that's genius. Like, yes, I need to do this. Or like a guidance that comes in that you hear and you're like, that was for me. That is all of that is your own intuitive gifts. And why is this important? Because your intuition is based on a bigger knowing versus your logic. Your logic only knows what's in front of you and it operates based on the past. Your intuition, it's like I forget who it was. I think it was Jessica Reed, my personal intuitive coach. She said it's like the GPS. Like the GPS knows the shortest way to get to your destination. And sometimes you may not think it is, right? But it is. And like if you just followed logic, well, if it's north and if I just go north, then I'll get there. But there could be roadblocks along the way if you just go north, or you probably literally can't cross over because there's a bridge there. So you're supposed to go east, then go north, and then go a little west, right? So that's kind of the GPS knows already the way. It knows the bigger picture. That's how your intuition is. That's how your higher self talks to you, because it knows those access points. So when you do this, you will start to realize that you are being guided through your intuition that is coming from this highest form of you. And when you follow through on that and you see how your life starts to open up to better possibilities, and you see how good it feels to live based on you. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it's more about based on what feels right to you. Because for such a long time, I didn't follow that at all, which ended up me being in a toxic relationship. I didn't listen to my highest self. It was always based on something outside of me. And once I reconnected with that, my life magically changed. It felt like magic, at least. So all you need to do is, and you can connect with remember your heart, it's never left. You just have to actively start creating that relationship. And all you have to do is by saying, I wrote something down here. What did I say? Oh. It's like a prayer or like a declaration. So if you don't like the word prayer, you can just say declaration, invoking, inviting in. Like, I invite my higher self to be with me now. And I invite my higher self to give me guidance. And I am creating an active relationship with you now. Thank you for your guidance today. Thank you for showing me the way. Thank you for bringing me back to home whenever I fall off. Something as simple as that. And then you can actively start asking questions. Whether it's you're talking out loud and you ask questions, whether it's journaling, whether it's sitting down in meditation, just ask. Ask, and don't expect an answer right away, especially if you haven't been developing this relationship. Is like, just like, let's say you haven't talked to someone in a long time and you call them and they, hey, let's get lunch, and then probably like, why is this person calling me right now? And like, you kind of have to like work on the relationship. Maybe the text messages first, maybe then there's phone call, then there's, so that's kind of how it is with building this relationship. Or you may hear something right away, or feel something, or know something, or see something, but just ask and start creating space and time to this. And it's about a self-devotion. So it could be as simple as like, I'm going to take a bubble bath and I'm just going to sit and be present with myself. It's asking yourself questions. What do I really want in this moment? Feeling into your heart. What do I want to do right now? What is the highest potential for me right now? And then let's feel into it. Feel into it. Drop into where you feel your higher self. For me, it's my heart. For you, maybe it's another part in your body. Again, I think it's going to most likely either be like your womb, sacral area, or your gut, solar plexus area. For me, it's my heart area, my heart chakra. And then feel, listen, or see what visions come like in your third eye, or a knowing that comes through. And that is your higher self talking to. And you can always write down the answers too, and you can start that way. You can start building that connection of knowing how the way you heard it, you can write it down, like the way that the intuition came through and what you did and how you felt afterwards. That way you can start recognizing what really is your intuition and just start building that muscle. That's all it takes. It's all it takes. It's a devotion to your highest divinity in you. That is what connecting with your higher self is. This is why it's so important, because it is exactly what it said here in this channeling. You make decisions based on your evolutionary timeline to your ascension, like your highest evolutionary timeline, not anybody else's. And you live a more fulfilled life. Like I wrote at the top, it's where your joy and happiness lies. It's where your power lies, it's where your safety lies. It's where your self-leadership, your grace, and your compassion. So start actively creating this relationship with yourself. Trust me, you will stop doing all these self-sabotaging behaviors. You will start creating and attracting better things in your life. You will heal the parts of you that need to be healed, to break away from the relationships, the situations, whatever it is that's causing you suffering and pain. That is what the outcome is from this. That's the importance of this. That you know that you have the power to do all of that within you. So that concludes today's live. I hope you enjoyed it. And I also want to let you know that I am opening up spaces for my one-on-one coaching. I have 3 available. So if you are a woman who really wants to rise from toxic and codependent relationships, you really want to activate this self-devotion. You really want to connect to your higher self by clearing out all this stuff. Like that is what my work is here. To bring you to your own sovereign divinity. And you are ready for it. You are ready for high touch. You're ready for that alchemization. Reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. I only have 3 spaces available to see if this is a great fit for you. I also offer intuitive readings. I have 3 different tiers. None is better than the other. It's just what works best for you, what you feel that your soul is telling you to go to. So if any of this is of interest, please let me know and we can chat. I can send you the links. We can talk about the one-on-one coaching and see if this is for you. So My prayer for you today is that you connect with your higher self and that you feel the wisdom of you, because there is nothing like that. Truly, there is nothing like that. All right. Have a great Sunday. Bye.